Hello and welcome to a beautiful morning here in equally beautiful Nova Scotia, and welcome to what I think, I might say so myself, my beautiful orchard garden at the moment. Looking absolutely stunning, the valerian looking stunning and smelling stunning as well. My lupins are starting to go over here, which is why I'm doing a bit of pruning to prune these back. But we're in July, and you know, as well as admiring the garden, there are still jobs to be done to make sure that our garden continues to look good throughout the summer and into next year, etc. So I thought I would give you a few jobs. You don't have to do them if you don't want to, but I always think that they will help your garden to continue to help your garden to flower and look good for the rest of the year, and help it to look good in the years to come. So I'll get on with this, and you can listen to me rabbit on about a few of the different jobs to be done in the garden in July. Enjoy. So one of the easiest jobs you can do in your flower garden in July is observe it. Well, of course I'm going to observe it, I hear you say. That's the whole point of having my flower garden. Well, what I mean by observe it is not just admire the flowers, etc. Of course, that's one of the major jobs you want to be doing, is enjoying your flower garden. But by observing it, maybe taking some photographs, making notes of different areas of the garden and what has worked and what hasn't worked. Now, overall, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with this bed. You know, it's 2 years old and it's really coming into its own with the dahlias, you know, just potting up this year, but the lupins put on a good display earlier, and the valerian have gone bonkers as usual, but lots of different things. The daisies in the back there, but this catmint this catmint is growing really strongly, really beautiful, but I've got it on the side here and it's grown a lot bigger than I actually thought it was going to grow. So I'm going to take a photo, make a note that really and truly it'd actually be better if I moved this one and the next plant across at the back there, where this rack for my solar heating for the swimming pool is, and it would actually obviously hide that void behind there, and then I could bring these plants that are there at the moment, bring them forward. And obviously, you know, we don't want everything regimented, tall, medium, small everywhere. It's nice to have the odd tall thing, but I just think this is blocking out now that area. So an improvement I can make is move those back, and you can do that all around the garden. What different plants are not working, what's too much. I always have to make sure with the valerian that it doesn't get out of control, because it seeds everywhere. You know, I don't mind that. That's actually food for the compost heap. But is it working? Is it, you know, things blocking out other plants? Make notes, take photographs, and at the end of the season, autumn or in the spring next year, you'll know that that's one of the jobs that you can do to move that plant around to make your garden just that little bit better next year. So all the plants in the garden in July are growing strongly, especially the climbers. And this clematis, although it's already flowered, is starting to you know, continue to grow strongly. So we want to make sure that we are tying them in to keep them nice and tidy and going where we want them to go, guiding them on their journey to our perfect picture of what we imagined when we first actually bought the plant. So that's climbers, all sorts of climbers, whether it be this clematis or honeysuckle, things like that, or your tall plants. All your tall plants, you know, they're growing strongly. That valerian over the rest of the garden there, you know, grows so much in a short period of time, it doesn't have lots and lots of strength. So we want to make sure we tie them in, excuse me, bit of ship roll there. We want to tie them into to posts or branches or whatever sort of stakes that we've got to keep them up. And schoolboy error, as you can see, this peony, big fat heads, and the stem's not strong enough to sort of carry those, and I haven't staked those, so they've fallen over and, you know, not looking particularly good. So it's always a good idea actually to put those stakes in before the strong growth, but even so we can still catch up now and make sure the tall plants are staked nicely. But let me continue with this clematis, get it on its journey, guide it on its way, and we'll go on to the next tip. So number, I think it's 5, whichever, somewhere along the line, and definitely not one of the least important. One of the most important is making sure that your pots and your hanging baskets, etc., that you're watering them thoroughly, especially when it's really hot and sunny, and also regularly feeding them once a week with a nice tomato feed or something like that, to keep them the energy, because obviously there's only a finite amount of food in this actual pot, and especially your small baskets, etc., are going to have lots of plants in there. They're greedy feeders. You want to make sure you keep on top of feeding those plants, and then they will repay you, like this beautiful banana plant, with a lovely display all summer long, making it feel just that little bit warmer with their lovely tropical leaves and flowers, etc. Also, here's a bit of a bonus one here. If you're going away on holiday, any pots, etc., that you've got, bring them into a shady area. Bring them into a shady area and put them all together, so that the different size pots and plants will probably be providing a little bit more shade for each other, and also there'll be that little bit more sort of moisture around them because they're all together, and they'll be helping themselves like a little family in the shade, and they'll be less prone to actually drying out if you put them all together like that. So there's a bit of a bonus one for your pots if you're going away on holiday. But there we go, keep them watered and they'll be providing that beautiful display like this lovely banana plant. So one of the big jobs that we can continuously be doing in the garden, from last month definitely into now, when all your plants are starting to flower really prodigiously, is to make sure that we keep on top of deadheading our plants, whether it be these beautiful lupins, because as soon as these start to go into seeding, they're going to put all of their effort into growing seed heads, whereas I've still got the odd little flower, and as you can see into here, if you cut these back hard, there is a chance that they will flower again. Like over there, I've got a couple of lupins, I've cut those quite prodigiously hard, and they've produced already some new flowers, smaller flowers, but you've still got a second flush. And obviously the dahlias and things like that, we want to continuously keep on deadheading them to make sure that they continue to flower all the way through the season. The same with your bedding plants, your baskets, etc. Make sure you keep on deadheading to make sure they're putting all their effort into the actual flowers and not the seeds. Right, quite a few more lupins to cut, I think, round the orchard. So here's a couple of bonus jobs to be doing. I've got enough jobs to be going on as it is, I hear you say, but this is another important one. So a bit like sort of keeping an eye out for, you know, weeding for plants that are in the wrong place, etc. Keep an eye out for little seedlings popping up here and there. And here we have a phlox here, and just if you can see here is a little phlox. Maybe it's a runner or something that's popping up here. Oh wow, there's a beautiful, I can't get it. There was a beautiful osprey just went over then. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, back to the phlox. This little phlox seedling or runner, whatever it is, young plant has popped up, and I don't want it there, but what I can do and what I will do is I'm going to dig that up, pot that up and grow that on, and plant it out in the autumn somewhere else where I think it will look good. So keep an eye out for these little seedlings. Down, as you can see, there's got a little seedling there. That is an actual seedling from a giant hyssop, I think it is. And I've got a few of those popped up in a bed that I was growing actual cut flowers for, and just around that bed. So I'm digging that up and I'm going to grow that on, and I'm going to put that somewhere in a new bed or something like that, possibly that new bed that I've just created around the back of the pool. But keeping an eye out for different little seedlings, plants, runners, etc. that you think, yeah, it's not exactly where I want it, but I like that plant, I'm going to grow it somewhere else. Also, think about your seeds as well, saving seeds. So there's a beautiful, as you can see behind there, cream foxglove just behind there, and absolutely lovely little plant. So I am going to look out for that once and let it grow its seeds, and then I will save those seeds and hopefully sow them in the autumn, and they will grow seedlings, or sow them in the spring next year, seedlings and some beautiful new plants for free. So keep saving seeds, obviously very important, and little seedlings all around the bazaars. Just keep an eye out for them, and you can dig them up, grow them on in a little nursery bed or something, or just put them straight into the place that you want. But I always like to grow them on a bit. Anyway, there you go. Seedlings, seeds, etc. Keep an eye out for them. So there we go. 5 or 6 jobs to do in the flower garden in July. Keep your garden looking fantastic for the rest of the sort of season, and trying to sort of help it going forward into the next year. Keeping an eye out, saving seed, saving cuttings, etc. And that will keep you busy over the next few weeks as well, won't it? And as you can see, I've got quite a few lupins to sort of prune down today, so that's going to keep me busy for the rest of the morning at least anyway, and hopefully by doing that I'll get a second flush of flowers. So anyway, I better get on with this. Hopefully you can get on with your jobs. Keep that garden looking fantastic. Don't forget to spend a bit of time admiring your garden, obviously, and jobs are good. See you later.